I guess we start over. And welcome, Emily, to our tea room, roundtable tea room. We are very happy to welcome Emily Gerald Urbanek, a musical director of preparations for Opera Carolina and a conductor for Opera La Traviata, the grande finale for Opera Carolina spring season. Welcome, Emily.
Спасибо за приглашение.
Of course, and your Russian is so good. We know that. So, Emily, again, congratulations on your, as I understand, full orchestra debut. If you could please also share with us what other orchestra conductor work have you done before?
Yes, I've been very fortunate to conduct some operas with chamber orchestra. Scalia Ginsburg and The Falling and the Rising, most recently with Opera Carolina. And I've also conducted some touring groups, with 12 instruments. But this is my first time conducting an opera with the full orchestra in the Blumenthal.
Wonderful, amazing. We're just so excited for you to be our conductor, and it's just overwhelming. It must be overwhelming for you as well.
I hope not. I mean, it's a big project, but I'm enjoying it a lot, and we have such a wonderful cast.
Overwhelming emotionally.
Yeah.
It's exciting. A big step. It's a huge step. So please, I understand you come from the musical family. Could you please just share a little bit about your experience that way?
Absolutely. My parents met in seminary. They're both musicians, and my father was a music minister at a church and was a choral conductor, and my mother is still living. She is an organist. So I had to practice when I was growing up.
You meant to be the musician. So what institution did you go to that prepared you so well for the work you do?
I've been very fortunate. I had very good piano teachers all the way along, both as a student, and then I went to Furman University for my undergrad, went to University of Michigan for my master's degree, and the Cleveland Institute of Music for my doctorate. So
amazing.
I was very fortunate.
Amazing, Dr. Emily. Yes. And you have been working so hard on all kind of repertoires for choirs outside of Opera Carolina. Do you have any preferences in music?
That's hard. I mean, I love chamber music, actually. I love to perform instrumental and vocal chamber music, song recitals. I love Brahms and Schubert and all of that. So,
well, I remember how you were playing Rachmaninoff during the series Russian Seasons in Charlotte, when we dedicated few concerts in Opera Carolina dedicated, and there were separate projects, and you played Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky with so much soul and feelings.
Thank you.
So I would assume that those composers are also among your favorites.
I love Rachmaninoff, although I've not performed a lot of solo piano music by Rachmaninoff. I did as a student more than now because I don't have the time to practice it. But Tchaikovsky as well. I mean, Yevgeny Onegin is one of my favorite operas. That's why I started to study Russian. So.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, however, I did hear at the Melinda's newly made CD, you were accompanying her Rachmaninoff pieces, Сирень, Lilac, Летние ночи, Summer Nights, and Я жду тебя, I'm waiting for you. You did amazing, and
thank you.
As an accompaniator as well.
Thank you.
Does it help to you being a very accomplished pianist? Does it help you to be a conductor? Did it contribute to your work as a conductor?
Yes, that's really interesting as I've started to think about working with other musicians in a different way from simply playing the piano, it does give you a bigger picture of the work, I think. It also has taught me a lot about what I do when I am a collaborator as a pianist and when I work with the conductor. Now, sort of seeing it from the other side a little more. So yes, it does make a difference.
Beautiful, beautiful. And have you already worked with orchestra? Did you have a chance to meet with them and go over amazing, astonishing La Traviata, such a complex piece?
We've had one orchestra read. Our rehearsals have been limited for this, but we did have one orchestra read, and we were able to get through the whole piece, and they sound wonderful. So, and Melinda and Dominic, our Violetta and Alfredo, were actually able to come in and sing their arias with the orchestra, so they've already had a chance to do that, which was extremely helpful.
Well, we're just absolutely excited to see you at the place with the baton, with the place in Belk Theater with the conductor's baton. Do you see, there's a question a little bit outside of the Opera Carolina. Do you see in general in any today's shift in orchestra mentality, let's say, like anything that you would like see changing in the past years? You have been evolving as a conductor.
I've always admired the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra, but it has just continued to improve in quality over the time that I've been here in Charlotte. And so I love working with these musicians. I play often with them as an orchestral keyboardist. And so I play from within the orchestra, and the communication, the listening, the musicianship is just wonderful. So I think we're fortunate. I think we are fortunate in the United States that just the quality of playing continues to rise. So that's good. I have also seen, because of restrictions on budgets, that amount of orchestra rehearsal time is not as much as it used to be. So you have to be very, very efficient with your time. You have to have really meticulously prepared parts, which I am very fortunate to have inherited from James Mina.
It was my next question. Actually, you foreseen my next question. How was Maestro taking this all? And it was his offer, as I understand.
It was his offer, absolutely. He, of course, conducts all over the country and the world, and he had sort of triple booked himself. He was conducting Porgy and Bess, just finished that yesterday, Porgy and Bess in Raleigh, our production that we did here in January.
And it was magnificent. It was absolutely magnificent.
Really enjoyed working with that cast. What an amazing, amazing cast. It was great. And then he is going to be conducting Aida at Opera Grand Rapids. So he thought he would come back and forth like typical, very efficient maestro, but it just was not going to be possible. So he asked if I would be interested in taking on this project, and of course I said yes.
I can't help thinking about the series Mozart in the Jungles, which features the conductor and who eventually yields his baton to a lady. And I know Maestro is not too fond of this series, but it's just the image of that is so magnificent, so full of different colors that I just keep comparing what is today is happening in Upper Carolina with that image. And I would like to sincerely congratulate you with this new step, the new opportunity that I'm sure that will be absolutely successful and magnificent. However, we have talked about your musical life, your occupation, and now who is Emily outside of professional music stage?
I am a person who loves the outdoors. I love to hike. I love to jog outside. I think that's the thing that sort of calms me the most. And I can be by myself a lot. I have wonderful friends, but I'm kind of an introvert, I guess. So it's nice to be outside with the birds and, the trees. And I also enjoy studying languages. I've enjoyed studying Russian, and I also, of course, study the other operatic languages, German and Italian and French. French was the first language I started to study when I was a student in high school. And I like to read when I have time,
When you have time.
Right.
It's a good remark. So what are your favorite pieces? Like if you have any, maybe some kind of history that is adjacent to maybe your favorite pieces, why they became your favorite?
My favorite pieces are most often by Johannes Brahms. And even, I've played some chamber music, but I think maybe my favorite piece of all time is the Brahms Second Piano Concerto in B flat. It is just a monumental, powerful, powerful piece, and the harmonic shifts and surprises, they're just beautiful. I could, never tire of listening to it.
Any challenges that you have, probably quite a few that you had to overcome during your career? What was most, let's say, what was most challenging?
That's a really good question. I hadn't thought about what was most challenging. I certainly had a lot of encouragement, and I think it was confidence that I could be a professional musician. And I think a lot of that is because I had two parents who were professional musicians, and I knew how hard it was. And I never thought I was good enough to be a professional musician. And my teachers in college kept saying, "Oh, you should be a performance major. You should do this. You should do this." And I'm like, but I'm not ever going to get a job. I'm never going to, this is hard. So I'm lucky that people kept encouraging me, and that finally I got the bug myself, I guess, as you would say. And then it was like, okay, well, even I think music calls people,
Sure.
I think it, if you're meant to do it, then you will end up doing it. It's just, that's the way it works. So,
well, you are obviously were predetermined to this with your family and with your love to music as well. How do you see the future of classical music in America? There's a lot of discussions on that the classical music is declining in America due to certain reasons. What's your perspective on this?
I think that the classics will never go away, but I think that there is very much interest in new music now, and in varieties of styles of music, sort of, I guess, hybrid styles that take, for instance, popular styles of music or folk styles, and combine them with orchestral music. I'm thinking of the House of Orpheus that we're going to premiere on May 10th. And this is house music, but it's also opera. It's operatic voices. I think there's a lot of room for that in the current state of affairs. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think we're going to see a lot more diversity, different conductors from different backgrounds, different musicians from different backgrounds. And I think that's wonderful. I hope it just keeps on.
Very, very optimistic and very light, very full of light perspective. How do you see La Traviata? It's already number 4 production, I believe, by Opera Carolina in a recent era, right? How do you see this production being received by audience?
Well, I mean, I love this cast, so I think they're just going to love. They're going to love the cast too. I think the audience will. I think we've had a lot of fun with the ensemble.
We sure did.
You can speak to that.
We sure did. It's a
Yeah.
great, absolutely great process.
Yes. So I think that will carry through, in the party scenes and the lighter parts of the opera. So I think there will be a lot that people can relate to. It's not, I wouldn't call it it's a traditional production, right? Traditional set in the time that it was meant to be set in. And so there's no real surprise there, but it's a timeless story. It's just a story that you can relate to Violetta, you can relate to the situation, and you can be very empathetic and sympathetic with her. So.
And Melinda, our own star, she sounds absolutely terrific.
Absolutely.
Her voice is a pure powerhouse. She's young, she's beautiful, and she just shines on the stage.
Absolutely.
Is it easy to work with her?
It's absolutely easy to work with her. It's just like, it's always been easy to work with her as a collaborator, as a pianist. We've done a lot of things together, and I admire her so much as a musician, and could just listen to her sing all day. So,
what other projects did you complete with? Have you done with Melinda?
Well, we did during the pandemic. We did some recordings for our iStream series. We've been working on this album for a few years now. She's, since the beginning, I got on board with helping her to get this album produced. So, and before that, we've done all kinds of things. We even did I believe it was a birthday party. I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but it was basically a Melinda and friends party over at Petra's in, Plaza Midwood.
Sure.
And she had a bunch of her friends and family and just all kinds of people participating in this party, really, music party.
Like a salon, like a party salon.
Kind of, yeah. Very informal, just a lot of fun, a lot of different styles. And yeah, so we've been doing stuff together for a long time.
Well, it will, right now, this performance will be crowning, basically, like a beautiful manifestation of this musical collaboration. How is the rest of the cast?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. Dominic, I also have known, and in fact, Dominic and Melinda were in The Falling and the Rising. They were also Melinda was the star of that, and Dominic was one of the main principal characters in that. So we've worked together before. I've also worked with Dominic at Chautauqua, and he's just a fantastic singer and really easy to work with. And Hyungyeon as well, just an excellent singer and just lovely person. Such a kind and beautiful soul. So and then all of our compromario roles are just people that I know and have worked with a lot and are fun to work with. So friendly people. It's all good.
You mentioned Fall and Rise. I did attend that performance, and I thought that Melinda's role was more difficult than Traviata, Figaro, and Donna Anna together combined. It was such a difficult, modern, contemporary piece. I'm not sure how she did it. Oh, you guys did it.
Well, vocally, I don't know, because she really has so many different resources vocally. She can negotiate a lot of different styles, and so I think it depends on what you mean by difficult. If you're talking about sort of musically difficult in terms of counting and rhymically, yes,
counting and rhythmically was totally challenging.
Yes. So The Falling and the Rising has some very tricky meter changes and things like that from time to time. So in that sense, it was more difficult. I don't know. You'd have to talk to Melinda about what role is most difficult to sing. I don't know. They all would be difficult from my perspective, right?
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
She just negotiates it with ease. So.
Well, we are very happy to have you in our tea room, and thank you so much for sharing your experience, your future vision for the classical music. It's a lot of concerns today for many people, but looking at you, listening to you, and being beside you, is rest assuring that the future of classical music is very secure. Thank you very much, Emily. It has been a pure pleasure.
Thank you. Спасибо большое.
О,
Thank you.
спасибо большое, Эмили, и вам. Мы очень рады. Спасибо. До свидания.
Пока-пока. До свидания.
Пока-пока. До свидания.